A day of relaxation in Agawa Canyon seemed like a good idea, and the only way to get to the canyon was by the world-renowned Canyon Train Scenic Tour. Sault Ste. Marie is an international city known for its famous locks seen here in this postcard picture. The bridge connects Canada to the USA. Our train departed from here early in the morning for the 114-mile journey to the canyon floor. Agawa Canyon is in the Lake Superior Wilderness Park in Algoma County. We settled down to a 3.5-hour journey to our destination. The wilderness country through which we travelled was a continuous series of bends, hills and valleys, rising and falling through a height of 1,560 feet from our starting point.
Much of the low-lying country was covered in swamp and thick undergrowth. We were told that many of the old logging camps had been swallowed up by new growth in the forest. The railway was originally established as the Algoma Central Railway in 1899. It was built to open up the hinterland and transport resources of timber and minerals to fuel Sault Ste. Marie's industries. 92 miles from Sault Ste. Marie, the train negotiated the curved Montreal River Trestle, 130 feet high and 1,550 feet long. Here we were afforded a view of the valley below. The dam below the trestle supplies power to Sault Ste. Marie and surrounding areas.
At last we were just 12 miles from the canyon, and while we relaxed, the train was descending 500 feet down the mountain to the valley floor. This postcard view of the canyon floor shows the spectacular scene of the river winding through the valley below. Unfortunately, we were not able to get up here for an overall video shot as time did not permit.
On alighting from the train, some quick decisions had to be made to cover as much ground as we could in the limited time available. We gave the souvenir car a miss and took off to see as much of the scenery as possible. Ignoring the picnic tables, we decided to follow the river trail to Black Beaver and the Bridal Veil Falls. Meanwhile, the locomotive was shunted to the other end of the coaches in readiness for the return journey to Sault Ste. Marie.
The walk trails in the park are covered with fine crushed gravel and are well maintained for hiking. Along the river trail, the steep canyon wall rose sharply on the other side of the river. Black Beaver Falls could be seen in the distance to our right. We would visit these falls for a closer view on our return from the Bridal Veil Falls.
There was very little wind that day, and the Agawa River flowed slowly through the valley as we walked towards the scenic spots in the park. The river is home to speckled trout, beaver and otters, but unfortunately they kept out of sight during our visit. At the end of the river trail, we reached the Bridal Veil Falls. The water cascades over the pink granite rock face here in several locations and falls from a height of 225 feet to the river below.
We stayed for some time at this vantage point, taking in the scenery. A little light rain had fallen, wetting the vegetation. The sight of the river and the falls, nestled in the lush vegetation, held the interest of young and old alike. Soon it was time to retrace our steps back along the river trail and link up with the Talus Trail, taking us across to Black Beaver Falls. Much of the vegetation was covered in blossom at this time of the year. Because of the heavy snowfalls in winter, the summer season produces quick growth of plants in the area.
The Talus Trail crossed the railway tracks and headed towards the western wall of the canyon, where we were able to find good vantage points from which to view the cascading water. Black Beaver Falls are divided into a south and north stream. The falls drop from a height of 175 feet and combine into a stream which ultimately winds its way into the river. The amount of water flowing over the falls is dependent upon runoff from the snow and rainfall. At times the falls can be a raging torrent. This was not quite the case on our visit. Nevertheless, these falls and the streams of running water created a very pleasing spectacle.
There is very little distance separating North and South Black Beaver Falls. The names determine their locations on the western wall of the canyon. The granite bedrock in this area is credited as being among the oldest rock in the world and is said to have been created by faulting. The canyon has been created by a series of ice ages abrading the area over a period of some 1.5 million years, the last ice cover retreating 10,000 years ago.
Back at the rail, we could see the train waiting at the junction up ahead. With plenty of time to spare, Judy and Linda decided to continue along the Talus Trail at the base of the West Canyon.
The trail took us through some of the most beautiful flora in the canyon forest. Wildflowers with names which are not familiar to us were found in abundance along this trail. Fir trees were plentiful. Small streams flowed gently through the lush undergrowth. Many ferns competed for a place on the forest floor. Coverings of moss could be seen at the base of some trees at the side of the trail. As the trail turned back towards the railway line, it passed by an old bunkhouse, perhaps for the use of railway workers when maintaining the track.
Eventually, all of the passengers returned to the rail junction, and the time for our departure was fast approaching. It was now 2 p.m, and with everyone safely aboard, our hostess signalled the train away for the return to Sault Ste. Marie. As the train gathered speed, we were afforded one last look at the Bridal Veil Falls flowing into the Agawa River at the bottom of the canyon.